Alright, so this has been a long-awaited episode 1 of the Shadow Band podcast. Today I got special guests Uncle P and OD.
Yep.
So you guys want to say a little bit about yourselves?
Yeah, I can start. So I'm Uncle P. My background for speaking in topics is primarily related to history. That's where I went to the University of Buffalo, graduated with the 3.9. I've been published a few times, so I have a good idea on what I'm talking about. Outside of history, my interests are really sports related and self-help, helping young men. I play multiple sports: rugby, Gaelic football, I hurl, I play football, and I do amateur MMA, and on top of that I weightlift. So you could say I'm big into the health and fitness industry. That's what others might say. Me, I just think of myself as a normal everyday guy.
Nice.
That's Uncle P for you. Hey, my title will be for this podcast from going on now. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, we'll disclose that information. And we'll shout me out in the end of this podcast in the description, whatnot. But my title will be OD. I'm a first generation Somali, born in Kenya, originated from Somalia. Background, was born in a refugee camp and whatnot. Came to the United States when I was 4. Been here since 04. 20. Well, I won't say my age, but so my background is that I am an electrician. I am a businessman, and I conduct business with homeowners in Buffalo, New York, primarily Western New York and whatnot. I've done some business with his father. His father owns a real estate broker. He's a great man, and one of my skill sets are providing services for homeowners, marketing strategic tasks and whatnot. I've been doing this well over 2 years. Got into it when I was in high school. Decided I would run with it. I know where I'm going with my goal in this field and whatnot. So if anyone wants to inquire about anything this field related, I'm definitely the guy to hit up and whatnot. So definitely got the experience. Uncle P said the most right there. That's something for you. And just my name is OD. I was saying.
Alright, so a lot of people have DM'd me and asked me to come onto this podcast, but I felt like the two best people to start this podcast with is these guys right here, simply because of the stuff we're going to be talking about and delving into. It's pretty deep stuff that I'm sure if you're listening, you are probably in a similar situation with me, and you'll be able to bank off of what these two guys have experienced through their lives and put that into effect. So thank you guys for coming. So the first topic that I want to get into that our fans have reached out to us and wanted us to talk about is managing emotions. Just especially as younger guys who go to high school, they got girl drama, stuff like that, right. Sports, all that other stuff. So what do you guys think about that?
Well, I say rule number 1, like my favorite president John F. Kennedy said, you never let a woman know 2 things about you. You never let her know your emotions. You never let her know the balance in your bank account. Those are 2 things you gotta lie about to the world, fellas, and it's an unfortunate reality. And as young men, anytime you open up about your emotions, whether it's to friends, family, girls, they tell you it's a safe space, that it's okay, and it's really a lie. At some point in your life, they're gonna use it against you. So my advice to young men, just through personal experience, I've had people hold stuff over my head. I've been quote-unquote exposed on social media for confiding in people and them using that stuff against me. My advice is hit the gym. Whatever you're going through, if you're sad, you're quote-unquote depressed, you're angry, there's absolutely nothing that you can't physically beat out of your body. And that's my stance on it. And I think, once you're there and you realize that it's good for you and you can literally work your emotions out physically and it clears your head. And you guys work out, this, after a workout you feel a lot better, don't you? And your head is clear. And from there, just apply that discipline on to other places in life. But my advice about emotions, I don't bury them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying find a way to work them out where you don't have to actively tell anybody how you're feeling.
Yeah, so what would you say to the people that can't actively necessarily get to the gym? There's younger guys that listen to our stuff,
I say they're full of it. I say, I grew up in the city of Rochester, and those old wash lines.
Yeah.
There used to be kids out there, pull-ups, right? Got a winner, doesn't matter. Pull-ups. If you have 5 feet of floor in front of you, you can do push-ups, you can do squats, you can do sit-ups. You don't physically need weights. There's a number of body weight exercises you can do in your bedroom, you can do outside. And not only that, go to your local parks. There's a number of those playground adult workout gyms, you know, where they have squat machines, they have body weight bench presses, they have all that. There's one at Jamie, is there not, in the back?
Yeah,
So I don't buy that. I think those are excuses, and that's, you know, dudes let themselves stay feeling sorry for themselves by saying, oh, you know, I can't afford a gym membership, I can't afford training. Neither could I, man, but I had a couple tires in my backyard, and I just used to carry them and curl them, and hey, eventually you'll figure it out.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, generally, I'll say the same exact thing to kids our age. Because even me, myself, I used to use that as in, like, an excuse. I'd be like, damn, I can't get to the gym today. But in reality, you know, I got my room. I can, like, hop out of bed and do those 10 push-ups right by my bed, even though I got a small room. You guys have seen it. And, but, you know, there's still things you can do. So it's all BS, really. So what do you guys say about that?
Well,
Any thoughts?
Oh yeah, I got some thoughts on that. Yeah, definitely finding an outlet to express yourself with coping to where you can relieve stress. That's one thing that us men have to do, especially at an earlier age, because we can't just find the freedom to, you know, we don't have that luxury of just showing one another or expressing one another with our emotions and whatnot, because then if we do come out, that's used against us, whether it's our friends or whether it's, you know, opposing genders and whatnot. I'll tell you a few ways that I was able to manage stress growing up and help me keep me straight and steadfast on my mental health is that, I am Muslim, and there's things that I do throughout the day that'll keep my mind sharp, and throughout the day, whatever your faith is, whatever your belief is, that's to you. As long as it's a good outlet to where you can express and release some stress to you throughout the day, that's amazing, and that's all you need. There's things like I have the 5 obligatory prayers that I partake and participate that, you know, pretty much allows me to complete my faith for the day. And those are things like checkpoints that, you know, I would say to myself throughout the day to complete and whatnot. And then every checkpoint, it's like a new mode for me. So not only is it checkpoint 1 for sunset, you know, there's like, we're not gonna get into that part. That's, you know, next episode.
Deeper.
Yeah, that's next level. That's some Joe Rogan type
No, but
stuff.
you make a point there though. Like, and when you pray to God, you feel better. You feel like you've lifted a weight off your shoulder. You know, there's something bigger out. And like you said, I didn't even know you were in a refugee camp. And you know, I'm glad you're here today, brother. And that's an empowering story. But when you've gone through stuff like that in life, and you make it, you know there's something higher above looking out for you and taking care of you. So when you take time to pray, and you can't just pray when life is hard, and I tell people this all the time, man, is a lot of brothers, and myself included, you know, I won't pray, and then, you know, when life starts, you know, going to crap for me, then I'm there every day, I'm praying, you know, and then when life gets better, same thing, I stray off, because now my life, and it's important to pray when stuff is good, but I like that, man. I think, you know, prayer is important, because,
Most definitely.
you know, you don't have a connection to God, then, you know, who are you connecting to?
And I'll add on to this. Thank you, Uncle P. And I'll add on to this is that just like what the brothers were saying about enhancing your, you know, physical performance in whatever sports you do, like Uncle P, what he does is he's a uprising MMA, you know, aspiring model, I guess you could say, in a sense. He does model, yes, he does model, and
Check out his Instagram. Link
check
below.
out
Irish lad lifting _32.
shout out. You know, he does model, yeah. He's a handsome model, yes. And what he does, like, he has a whole page dedicated to where people, it's public. Yeah, if you do want to follow, definitely go ahead and follow. I'd follow if I was you. But he has it to where he has this, like, quotes he'll tell you, and he has these pages. Yeah, I know it's a generic page, 100%. Like, any other person could do it, but with Uncle P, he's, you could say maybe he's like connecting with you. He relates a lot more with you, especially with his demographic feature. If you're like someone of his demographic, he can definitely relate to you. And then if not him, I'm also developing a page with the same content. It's just coming out shortly. If not me, then you can most definitely relate to Adnan. And yeah, most definitely can. Adnan is like well-rounded. He's probably like one of the youth that I know that I'm mistaken for an adult, even though at his age. Like this guy's like the if Sneeko's not Muslim yet, he's a Sneeko Muslim yet right now.
One day, hey,
Inshallah,
Sneeko, come on to our podcast, man.
Inshallah,
We
man.
get another mic set up. So yeah, I think you guys gave like really good point of views on that. So let's just get a little bit more like deeper, because I know people our age, especially 17, 16, 15, around these ages, especially like the high school ages, a lot of people deal with like anger, right? A lot of kids have anger. They got fucked up like childhoods, parents, divorce, all types of stuff. You guys know these because I'm pretty sure you guys are products of things like that as well. I'm sure you guys have your own stories. So like, how does an average high schooler in this day and age deal with anger issues?
Get off the internet.
Get off the internet? Can you get more into that?
Get off the internet. The internet isn't making you happy. Look, you're on the internet, you're scrolling through Instagram, you're scrolling through TikTok, and you're seeing people live fake lives, and you get envious of it. Oh, I know, and I grew up poor, and I did the same thing. Facebook was big when I was young, and I would scroll on Facebook and look at these kids taking ski trips. Look at these kids, and you know, it really does. It makes you jealous, and then you realize this is not real life. You know, these kids are 1 in a million, and in reality, your life is pretty good. If you go anywhere else in the world, your life is not that bad. So, you know, get off the internet. TikTok isn't doing anything for you. It's not. Instagram most likely is not. If you're not an influencer, if you're not doing something like, or restrict who you follow on the internet. Follow positivity pages, follow workout pages, follow stoic quote pages, especially as a young man. You got to really filter the crap out, because there's narratives being pushed, there's agendas. We won't get into all of that, but
So where I was is that being able to wake up and pray. Now that I'm praying, got enough sleep, I had to do something after that, and that was going to the gym. Going to the gym was not enough, because you come back out that, boom, you know, you have that dopamine where you're like amped up, wanting to do so much. You spend, you know, your outlet is the gym right there. So you coming home, you don't know what you want to do now, and that leads to you just being alone. And we all know what happens when we, you know,
And that adds to the sadness, right?
Sadness, and then
depression.
Along with that, you know, we get desperate in those times. We do things that we don't want, and then we're gonna, you know, regret in the future that we procrastinated in this time in doing something lowly, grade level of that. One thing that I've done is that not only did I work on my faith, I've also worked on my physical state, my body, my physique. Along with that, I decided to start a new profession. And I was able to manifest things that I brought to mind. I surrounded myself with only people that are like-minded like me, to where we share the same ideas, or we share the same goals. If our goals are in line, then, you know, I'll likely try to.
But a lot of people will be like, well, say that's not the best thing to do, because it's like you want to like kind of have other people who can make you think bigger, like give you a bigger picture on things. What do you think about that?
That you can correlate that with just being with like-minded people. And again, it's not that you have to have the same exact goals. It's just that you have someone that's going to be. Not a lot of people have themselves around. Yeah, not a lot of people today have themselves around people that are willingly to want to think about doing things or ways they could contribute to society. People just have themselves like, oh, let's go play soccer all day.
People care too much what other people think. That's what it is. Like, and I'm with Abdulwali is. You got to tune everybody else out. You do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
And I'm not telling you to do drugs or drink, but
because that'll make you happy.
Do productive stuff that makes you happy. You know, people tell you, oh, you can't go to the NFL, you can't go to the NBA, you can't. Why train all day? I'll tell you, in the neighborhood that I grew up in, we had 12 D1 athletes. Of those 12, 3 of them went to the NFL, 1 of them went to the NBA, another dude's overseas in China playing basketball. I've seen it firsthand, but the thing is, I let other people's. You know, and I was on these dudes' AAU teams. I was on their Pop Warner football teams. I was starting. I was lined up right next to them. Yeah. But I let other people's opinions, you know, they got right in my ear. And, you know, so I stopped and I just listened to what other people had to say. But if you have a serious goal and, you know, you want something in life, there's nothing that can stop you from achieving it but yourself. Like, I've seen the impossible become possible. And you hear those stories all the time, man, those feel-good stories, and you act like they're one in a million, but even if it is, why not be you? Like, you know?
I'll add on to that. As I was saying, what Adnan has asked me was that, wouldn't you want, well, some people say that, wouldn't you want to be with people that think, you know, a lot bigger than you or whatnot? Well, yes, but if you know, so going back to him as well, going to Uncle P, well, if you know your purpose at that phase in life and you're willing to manifest it and you believe you can do it, most definitely go ahead and do that. You shouldn't wait.
Right.
You shouldn't want to be, if you could even do it by yourself without any support, go ahead and do that. If that's what you want to do in life, go ahead and do that.
You know, in reality, what I think it is, like, I feel like a lot of people, like, let me know your guys' feedback on this, but, like, I feel like a lot of people are so surrounded by this excess noise that I was talking about, like, the Instagram thing, but, like, let's look at it from, like, a bigger spectrum. People are so busy, like, with everything else, not because they choose to be busy, but, like, naturally the system has them so busy with everything else, like that they never really get time to, like, give to themselves. You know, I recently started meditating, actually. That's something I recently started doing, and as a 17-year-old, people don't meditate. People don't take the time to do that with themselves. Like, we learn from our spiritual guides to, like, give time every single day to yourself, whether that's with your Lord or whether that's with yourself. And now sometimes I'll literally just sit there right by my bed, right before I go to bed, and just sit there in the dark and just, like, really just be by myself and look at all the issues I have within myself, like, really just pinpoint, like, oh, today I got a little bit of jealous, I got a little bit angry, why did that actually happen, you know? So little things like that can really get you far, but you just gotta pick it on.
That's amazing.
Yeah, no, and you know who did that? And I look, I learned a lot from other people in history, and so I've always read people's autobiographies. I study great people, and two people who did that, who I've really looked up to in life. One was Ben Franklin, right? The jack of all trades, and I've learned a lot, and I encourage everybody to go out, read his autobiography. But he did that every night. He spent time writing down, this is what I did right, this is what I did wrong, this is how I'm going to be better tomorrow. And look, the man invented eyeglasses, the man invented the light bulb.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, he did so much, and that's a big part of it, is he was able to see where he was going wrong in life just simply through meditation. And if you even look to, like, Far East culture, like chakras and everything, that stuff is real, dude. Like, you have 7 of them in your body, and if one of them is misaligned, then it's all going to be misaligned. And, you know, yoga, I know there's a spiritual aspect to it and a physical aspect to it. I don't really engage in the spiritual aspect of it, but the physical, the stretching and all that, and it really, you can feel your body healing, and your mind muscle connection, whatever you want to call it. But I agree with you. I think meditating is a big...
Yeah. It's like, it's just mainly just being able to be by yourself. So many people, especially with, like, TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, all these other different things, you become so engrossed with, like, everybody else and, like, constantly, like, busy that you never make it okay for you to be alone. Never give your mind time to just look at itself. And that's, like, why we are so far down the drain. And I feel like, because a lot of people don't hold themselves accountable.
People are scared to be alone.
Right, people are scared to be alone.
Because, and if you look at videos and people ask, what's the scariest thing in life? To be alone with your own thoughts.
Right.
And I think that's where you find your purpose. You know, and you got to dig deep. You're going to go through a lot of pain. You're going to find a lot of stuff about yourself you don't like. But I think that's the best foundation to start on. Because once you figure out what you don't like, you know what you're working to fix. Right. And so it might not be your life's purpose, but it's a temporary purpose, and you build from that.
You know that was, like, low-key me, though. Like, I used to, like, when I was younger, like, you know, you can ask, like, our friends and stuff, like, they'll tell you, like, I had a very bad habit. I could not be alone. Like, I always gotta have either a girl with me, or somebody with me. I just like, I was craving that attention. So at a point, it got so bad where this one night, I vividly remember, this girl was over at my house for the weekend, and I was just like, she left, and I was like, whoa, like, I got so codependent on her, like, emotionally, physically, just being there, that, like, I low-key, like, shut down, and I had to go smoke a bunch of weed to just, like, try to green out. Like, that goes to show you, like, that's something you never want to do. And, like, that's where I was. And as soon as I started meditating and, like, moving along with my life, starting my business and giving myself purpose, I found myself happy and okay being alone. You know, I'll just put my headphones on and sit at the computer for hours, being able to just work and stay laser focused, turn my phone on airplane mode now. I used to never be able to do that.
Yeah, you got to stay off the phone.
Right.
The phone is the worst thing that ever happened in this generation. Before the phone existed, people had a purpose relatively easy, right? Like, they were able to go out in the world, figure out what they like, what they didn't like, interact with people, figure out who they're friends with, who they're not friends with. Now with the internet, you don't have to hear the ugly. You don't have to hear the truth because you can just block it, censor it, and you can find 1,000 people who agree with you, 1,000 people who will be in your ear and tell you, oh no, you don't have to get your stuff together. Oh no, you don't have to stop smoking weed. There's nothing wrong with drinking because
You're at the age for it.
yeah, it's normal at your age. No, there is stuff wrong with all those things. There's a reason you're doing those things, and you need to figure out, you need to look yourself in the mirror and say, why do I feel the need to smoke weed every day? Why do I feel the need to drink every day? Why am I experimenting with drugs? Because you have a void, and that's, and a big part of it is the cell phone, I think. You put down the cell phone and you go outside and you just appreciate the world for what it is. It's a lot more beautiful than what people think. Bro, every time... Yeah, and you go outside and look at nature and just appreciate everything in life, and you realize what you see on the phone, what you see on the news, all that, they're spewing negative stuff all the time. You know why? Because negativity sells. And when the world is negative, there's narratives to be pushed. And go outside. I really encourage everybody to go outside 1 hour a day and experience the world for yourself. And it's totally different than what you see on your cell phone, than what you see on your television. And that's why I'm barely on the phone. That's why I don't watch TV. Because I know the real world is not what's on the media. And I think the media is probably the most negative thing to ever happen to this generation.
Yeah, if you're a young man who has time on his hands right now and is a very you can be productive, your productivity limit is set very high. Don't be on the news, man. Why the fuck are you on the news? Why do you care about what's going on in Ukraine and Russia when small little things you still haven't solved?
You don't have a job and you're worried about what Putin's doing. You don't have a purpose and you're worried about what Putin's doing. You don't have the life you want, but you're worried about Putin. Stop worrying about Putin and Putin some work.
Bro, do you... How's it going? I just got that. Now, think about it really, though. Why does any of it matter to you? You really think your voice is you're gonna change the world?
Tell him. Your tweet made a difference. Putin saw your tweet and he decided to stop the invasion. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, man. You really did something huge there. Instead, go fucking get off your ass. Go apply to that job. Go make yourself some money and get out. Go get your grades better. Do something
Lie
productive.
on your resume to get the job you want. They don't check anything. I went to school for 4 years. I busted my ass, and not a single job has ever checked my credentials. Not a single job has ever checked if I went to said school or not. They do check your high school transcripts, though. So if you're in high school, finish it out, tough it out.
Right.
They want that. But seriously, boost yourself up, man. Talk yourself into the person you want to be. If you want to be like Abdul Wali's an electrician, right? There's a ton of unions. You don't have to go to college. You can get an apprenticeship with a private company, with a union. If you're not into that, carpentry, masonry. Young men, I encourage you to do this. Don't go to college. Unless you really know what you want to do with a college degree, like be a nurse, be a doctor, be a lawyer. Other than that, I think college is absolutely worthless. I think you should get a trade. Trades are dying. Trades pay well than almost every office job. But you know what? You're taught from a young age, oh, that young man's a construction worker. Oh, that man is a garbage man. He's not. They're making more than the people in the office. They have better benefits than the people in the office. And you know what? At the end of the day, they're happy. Are you happy after you complete a project, right?
I'm happy.
That's what I'm saying.
You're satisfied because it's a purpose.
Yeah.
I know I build furniture. When I'm done building the piece of furniture and I sit back and I say, I did this with my hands and with the set of tools, I was able to assemble a bunch of wood into something beautiful. I'm satisfied with my work. Is somebody who working at a call center, hello, you didn't pay your bill, you think they're satisfied at the end of the day? No.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, there's no way they can be. Yeah, just going off of that, I mean, people just managing your emotions, basically. So I think, in reality, what we got from all this is bro, you're alone. The only person who got you is you. So, go to the gym, do productive things on your own. If you don't do that, you're not gonna get anywhere. You can't keep listening. When a dog barks, you let the dog bark. If you stop on your road up for every dog that barks and throw pebbles at it, you're not gonna get anywhere in life. You have to just continuously move, and I think a lot of people just forget that. They get so caught up over little things. Oh, she said this, he said this. Oh, did you hear John and Barbara fucking broke up? Why the fuck does that matter?
You just gotta tell them, I don't care. I have dreams to chase. I have goals to chase. I don't have time for your pointless drama. It doesn't affect me. It does. So and so said this about me. Good. I want 5 more haters by summer.
Hey.
I want 10 by this time next year. Like if you don't have haters, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, that's something proven throughout history, and like none of it matters. Like I keep saying this, but like I think people will listen to this and just continue their lives the same way. You guys are so like so used to like taking care and giving time to all the background noise that you can never get forward. If you just let that shit off, then you can move forward. And that's basically the number one thing that's holding people back. It's other people and their surroundings. So yeah. Anything to add to that?
No, that was well said.
Alright, so I want to talk about staying disciplined through time, because you guys are both men who have been working for the majority of your guys' lives, I'd say. Right?
I've had a job since I was 11.
Exactly, yeah.
Mhm.
You know, and we started working when we were pretty young too and stuff like that. So like, you know, even like to the point where we were working doing manual labor and getting paid like $10 an hour.
Oh
like,
my God, yeah.
like we were doing some real real shit.
It's illegal, but it builds character.
Builds character, because I'll tell you. Yeah, go ahead.
That work ethic I got from when I was 11 to 15. First of all, I was actually making good money. I was doing labor at a country club. I was making a ton of money in tips. My dad got me the job. I went to my dad. I was 11 years old. Kids at school had Hollister. They had designer. Like I said, I was poor. And I told my dad, I was like, I need some Hollister, man. I was real materialistic at the time.
Right.
But it gave me something to work towards. Was it the right thing? Maybe not. And my dad said, yeah, hop in the car. I'll take you to get some Hollister. And this dude would never, he would never step foot in that store. He would slap me if he knew what that store was.
Okay.
But he drove me to his buddy's house. He said, hey, my son wants to buy some Hollister clothes. He said it real snarky. And he said, so he's going to come work for you. And then his buddy looked at me and he said, be up at 4:30 tomorrow morning. I'm going to pick you up. And I had a job and I worked hard, and it was nice. When you buy stuff with your own money, there's a different appreciate. I took care of my clothes after that. I took care of the stuff I bought, I put money into different accounts. I didn't know what I was doing, but when I got to college, I had a college account because I worked that hard when I was younger, and it's just developing a work ethic, man. And that's why the gym is the best place. If you have no discipline and you have no work ethic, the gym is the best place to develop one. And I think everything I've learned in the gym, I've taken to my job, I've taken to school, I've taken to my spiritual life. And as bad as that sounds, and maybe it should be the other way around, the gym has laid a foundation for every other aspect of our life.
Yeah, and I feel like there's like a lot of people like I know there's some feminist weirdos out there who are gonna be like, oh, they're trying to spread toxic masculinity, trying to make these young men
get toxic. Stay toxic.
Bro, why does it matter?
Toxic? I'm for it.
Is there anything toxic for?
I'm toxic.
We're all toxic.
It's not toxic. It's not toxic to work out. Look, right now, women being born have higher testosterone levels than men.
Oh my God.
You should, and look, throughout generations, and look at your grandpa, look at your dad. They have so much more natural muscle than you do, and it's because of the testosterone levels. So this whole war, this is a patriarchy. Let me hit you with some facts right now. Women have the majority of 2-year degrees. Women have the majority of 4-year degrees. Women are the majority bosses in the workplace. Women are the majority doctors. Women are the majority in law school. If you divorce a woman, she gets your kids, she gets your house, and she gets half your paycheck until the kids are 18. Do you get any of that as a man?
No.
What about this as a patriarchy then?
Not at all. It's just something the media pushes for women to finally feel a little bit more important. Because if you really look at it through history, men created this world, and honestly, that's
listen. But a woman created me. I'm not knocking.
No.
I'm not knocking women either. Let me be clear. It's just this whole feminist nonsense. It just needs to stop. Look, no man is oppressing you. I just gave you a ton of stats that you can look up. If you're a woman, you can do anything in this world. It's really young men who are lost, and it's young men who are suffering, and it's young men who need something, and that's why they're gonna find it in the gym. Look, get muscles. You know why muscles are a status symbol? Because it's not something that can be bought. It's not something you can inherit from your daddy. It's not your daddy's money. It's not your mommy's money. It's not anything you're born with. It's something you had to work for, and that alone gives you the foundation, like I said before, to go work for something else in life. And like I said before, if you're dumb and people call you dumb and it hurts your feelings, you might be dumb. Go read a book. Literally, turn off the TV, get off Instagram, and read a book.
Yeah, because people will turn their minds out. They'll go home, go to Netflix, turn their brains off for hours on
and
end.
watch what's it called, Wednesday or Dahmer or some nonsense.
No, for real.
And
It's
it's
stupid as
literally-
shit too.
When your brain is your second biggest muscle, and I'll tell you, when you walk around with a head full of knowledge, and you walk around with a body that's chiseled like a Greek
Untouchable.
god, dude, people are naturally drawn to you because they know you have something. Even if you have nothing going on other than those two things, that you read a lot of books and you have a lot of nonsense in your head and you look good, people are still drawn to you because of that. And you're able to talk about multiple different things with multiple different people. You're interesting. People want to hear what you have to say. When all you can say is, hey, did you watch a new episode of Wednesday? Did you watch a new episode of Wednesday?
No, fuck that.
No, because it's a waste of time. Who cares? Is it not? Netflix, dude, is nonsense. And you want to get into Netflix? Edward Bernays, the creator of Propaganda, isn't the founder of Netflix like his nephew or something?
Something like that.
Yeah, keep it in the family.
Great-grandson
And their great-grandpa was Sigmund Freud, the founder of psychology. You know, and the one who tells us I have ODD, I have ADHD, you're depressed. The dude, you know what his core foundation was? One, why I hate him, is because he thought Irish people were inhuman. he thought Irish people had nothing, that they were impervious to psychoanalysis, that it didn't matter what you said to an Irish person or anything, they could lie. Basically, he looked at us as subhuman. Two, he thought all young men wanted to sleep with their mother. He said that, and so this is the whole foundation on every mental illness that people diagnose you with it. This is the man who created the school of science, if you want to call it that, behind. So come on, are you really gonna let somebody who said you want to sleep with your mother tell you that you're depressed?
No, not at all. You know what's some food for thought, to be honest? Like, I think it might have been Steve Jobs or somebody. I'm not exactly sure, but it's out there. You can easily find it if you just do your research. People, like, if it was Steve Jobs, I'm gonna bank off it using him as the example. When he made his iPhones, someone asked him, like, do your kids have iPhones? Like, do they use your Apple products? He's like, no, I would never let my kids use them because it's detrimental to their building, to building them into young men and women who are beautiful for society and just productive people. Just like that, if you look into it, Netflix owners and the founders of Netflix, they wouldn't let their kids use it. Things like Twitter, Instagram, all social media, they won't let their own kids use it. So why, if they won't let their own kids use it, why would you think that it's good for you in any way whatsoever? So just banking off of that, like, how do we stay disciplined through time? Like, what? Because sometimes I know you guys wake up, like, since you guys go to the gym, we've been talking about the gym the entire episode. Like, I know there's times where you're like, fuck, man, I really don't want to get out of bed. I really just want to hit that snooze button and stay in. So what drives you through that?
I know there's somebody out there working harder than me. I know there's somebody who, if I don't get up at 5 a.m. and go to the gym, somebody else is, and he's going to be stronger than me. If I don't show up 30 minutes early to work, somebody else will, and they're going to get that promotion before me. If I don't eat healthy, and I eat junk food and somebody else is eating healthy, I know they're going to live longer and better and happier than I am. And so, me, and it may or may not be real. I might not be competing with anybody, but in my head, there's somebody I'm competing with.
It's healthy to keep it.
And and at the end of the day, you should just compete with yourself.
Right.
It'd be better. But in order to stay disciplined, you need to literally tell yourself, somebody is going to take your spot. If you're an athlete, you should train like your spot is up for grabs every day, even if you're the best person.
Oh, for sure.
Look at Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant was there 2 hours before practice, 2 hours after practice. He was the best player in the league. Name one other player that would do that, But that's discipline. Discipline is doing what needs to be done when you don't feel like it. So that's when you need to say, fuck your feelings. If you're a young man, you need to learn how to say, fuck my feelings. Like, you're not a girl. You're not going to have 10 people crowding all around you, cheering you on every bit of the way. Most of the journey in life, you're going to be by yourself. Yeah. And you just got to learn to accept it and just know that you're building something for a greater future. You want that girl, then you need to be in the gym at 5 a.m. every day, right? You need to be in school getting good grades so that you can go get a good job, so that you build yourself into somebody that she wants to be with.
Yeah, when I used to wrestle, actually, I remember our coach sent this message to the group chat once. It was like a loose leaf paper, and some kid wrote on it, I come to every single wrestling practice because I know there's somebody who has that little bit more of mat time than me. I know there's somebody who did one more shot than me. I know there's somebody who tried one more reversal than me. And if they do it even one more time, that gives them a higher up on me. If I ever have to see them on the mat and never face them, they have a higher chance of beating me at that move. And that goes right into what you're saying. Just having somebody, even if you just fake it to yourself, man, like just put somebody in your head where it's like, oh, he's better than me, and that's not okay. You can't, as a man, naturally, instinctively, we all, as men in this room, know that we don't like when another man like tests our manhood.
You should have a competitive drive to you.
100%. If you don't, man, if you don't, there's some deeper. You need to go see a therapist.
And it's not like when you're competing with your friends, it's something good. We bring out the best in each other.
No,
when I'm in the gym and my buddy's lifting heavier than me, I'm not mad at him. First of all, I'm proud of him, but second of all, I'm like, I need to get my weight up because he's moving more weight than me. When your buddy's out striking you in MMA, or you're a wrestler, when he's out grappling you, you're happy for him because you want to see your boy win, but you just know, hey, I need to go. And that you need competition. This whole idea, and we've gotten rid of it, everybody gets a participation trophy. Look at, you can fail high school and graduate now.
It's off.
You can, I know,
That's dope.
you can literally fail high school and they will push you through. You can fail every single grade in the No Child Left Behind law. And what justice is that doing anybody? It's allowing you to be dumb, and it's allowing you to stay dumb, and they're just saying it's okay to be dumb. Here's the next grade. You know what? When I was a kid, dude, if you failed a grade, you know what happened? You got held back. Yeah. And you know what that did? It might have been a little embarrassing, but it made you put your ass in the gear that next school year to get good grades to move on. And that's how life should be. You know what? When I was a kid, there was a first place, second place, and third place trophy. And every other team in the division didn't get one. And then as I got older, everybody got one. And it doesn't mean that. Then what are you working for?
Nothing.
You know, dude, it means so much when you strive and you and your brothers put in a whole season of effort and you win and you get that #1 trophy. And imagine doing all that and looking across the field, and the team who didn't win a single game, barely practiced, they have the same trophy that you have, and that's
don't mean nothing.
That's the problem with the generation, and they blame us, people our age, your age. It was our parents who pushed for that. It was not us. We did not tell our mom and dad, oh, I want a trophy too. Our parents didn't like seeing us losing. And that's the hard reality. Right. And, you know, my dad told me, man, you're going to lose way more than you win in life. But the important thing is you take your wins like you take your losses. You keep your head up and you remain humble. And that's the advice I have to young men. You're going to lose a lot in life, man, but you just got to keep your head up and stay humble. And just know every dog has their day.
What's the statement? I'm sure you guys know, like, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Rome wasn't built in a day. So, like, if you're planning on becoming this great something in your future, sometime in your future, you got to give it time. And you got, like we were talking about in the beginning, you have to, like, take things step by step, do small things, protect yourself in small ways. Like, now I'll do dopamine detoxes. I'll go to my Instagram and be like, yo, I'm off of Instagram for a week. I'm off of Snapchat for a week. I'm off of YouTube for a week. Just completely shut it off, to kind of realign myself with like my actual being. And within that time, honestly, I found it to be like my most productive time, because I'm not, all that outside noise is shut down, you know. So it's like you gotta do those small things that in time will make something great at the end, you know. So just being disciplined through time, like you guys have to say about that.
Social media is really, that's like you said. When I was on social media for 2 years, bro, I read over 100 books,
That's
right?
crazy.
I completely changed my life around. I changed religions, dude. I was in the gym, and nobody knew what I was up to. And that was the best part about it. And then 2 years later, I created new accounts. I selected my friends. I selected what pages I follow. I filtered it. You know, I totally beat their algorithm, so I could only see things that are making myself better. I can only be around people who I want to be better or who I want in my life. And when I pop back up, everyone's like, dang, you know, you got big, you got this. And it's because I wasn't wasting my time on the internet, dude. I was literally in the gym. I was literally reading books. I was researching what foods are best for muscle growth, what foods make you happy. And that's what people don't realize. You're eating McDonald's, you're eating fast food, you're not going to be happy, man. You got to look and see.
Yeah, you know about the TikTok thing where it's like, if you go to China, their TikTok For You pages is filled with people doing good, coming out of school, getting degrees, building businesses and stuff like that. And then you come to America and like anywhere outside of China, and you go to your For You page and it's girls shaking ass to fucking Drake.
And they're doing that on purpose.
On purpose. It's set out there. Like, let's talk about that for a little bit. Like, bro, no one wants to see you succeed. No one wants to see you succeed. You're alone. If you don't push through it every single goddamn day, you're really not gonna make it anywhere.
And like I said before, if you don't have the job you want, if you don't have the body you want, if you don't have the mind you want, you should not even be concerned about having the woman you want.
Don't get upset. Don't get upset about the results for the work that you didn't do. You know, that's a hard statement.
And that's a lot of people's issue, bro. They show up to the gym for 2 weeks. You're not going to see results in 2 weeks. Did you guys see results your first 2 weeks of working out?
Not for anything. You don't see results that quick.
Yeah, I mean, Abdulali did because of his genetics.
He's different.
But 90% of people, and they give up.
Yeah,
they give up. They tap out. Look, the first 2 weeks of the new year, the gym was packed.
Right.
It's empty now. You know why? Because people went there for 2 weeks. They didn't see any results, and they went back to their life of doing absolutely nothing. They went home to eat Netflix. Or watching Netflix, eating junk food, because it gives them that instant reward. Oh, it makes you feel good. Yeah, that burger makes you feel good. In 30 years, when you have heart problems, it's not going to make you feel good. Yeah, that ho-ho, ooh, you know, you take a bite of that, that sugar, bro. It does. It literally makes you feel good.
It's kind of, go ahead.
In 10 years, when you have diabetes,
ain't gonna make you feel good.
It's not gonna make you feel good, dude.
It's kind of like, you know, like when you jack off. Real talk, because we're talking to people who do this shit on a daily basis, 7-8 times a day. When you jack off, you're signaling.
7-8 times. Holy cow,
no,
man.
people, that's normal, bro.
That's
I'm telling you.
crazy,
I know people myself that do it like that, bro. And like, the studies show that when you jack off that much, you're signaling to your brain that you did something, that you accomplished something, and when in reality you haven't accomplished shit. You haven't done the work to earn a sexual partner.
And it leads to stuff like erectile dysfunction.
All types of shit, dude.
And the more you get into porn, the more weirder stuff you're gonna have to watch to get off.
Oh my god.
And it's literally gonna lead to you having sexual fantasies that are totally abnormal. They're not. And like, I mean, we've talked about this. Semen retention. People think it's crazy. Muhammad Ali did it. Muhammad Ali is the best boxer in the world.
Right.
When you don't jack off, but people don't realize is that's precious fluid that you're just letting out into the world. It stays in your system, and when you learn how to control your sexual energy, you have extra energy, and it turns into creative energy, and you're able to take that energy that you would have spent jerking it and apply it to something productive in life. And it's
Yeah, I like how Sneeko says it. You know what he says? You guys ever seen it? He's like, you're giving your energy out to all these girls, you know, these NPCs. Like, you're giving your energy out freely. Why would you do that? Do something productive. Save that for something future. And especially if you're watching porn, bro, every single time you go onto that incognito mode, bro, you are reducing your chances of having a healthy relationship.
And where are the feminists on porn, man?
Oh my god.
Where? I know their argument. They say it empowers women. They're literally watching women be degraded, like
to the lowest. You can't get more degraded
and get
than that.
exploited. And you know what's crazy? When Andrew Tate allegedly did the OnlyFans, that's his scandal, right? Isn't that what he was arrested for?
Yeah, like sex trafficking.
Pimping women on OnlyFans, though. That's what it was. It's a terrible crime. But when other people do it in the porn industry, they're empowering women. Yeah. And it just shows you how these people have absolutely no thought process.
At all.
They're so hypocritical. If you make a mistake, they'll love to scold you for it. But if someone they like does, it's not a big deal, dude. And that's really what it is, man. And, you know, regardless of what you say about Andrew Tate and any of them, that doesn't matter. The point I'm trying to make is when he exploits women, allegedly, it's wrong. When a big porn industry does, they're empowering women. Well, when 10 guys are running through a girl, that's empowering women. It's sick, dude. It's honestly, it's sad.
It demoralizes you, even as a man. If you're watching that shit and like putting that shit into you, you gotta understand the statement "you are what you eat" doesn't just come from what you physically eat. It comes from everything that you intake, everything that you consume. It comes through the stuff you watch, to the food you eat, to the people you're around, to the books you read, if you even read books, because it's actually crazy. It's so hard to find people our age that actually even read books. I know people that will be like, yeah, I haven't read a book in like 5 years since I was a little kid.
And they say that proudly, like it's an accomplishment.
Bro, like, why do I need to read books? Bro, throughout history, people that built the world have been on these books, and you think you're just going to come out of nowhere with some Soho title and think you're going to do some shit?
they used to, when they wanted people dumb, they used to burn books.
Right.
Now they don't even have to.
They
They can leave the public library open for 24 hours, and nobody will go in there and get a book. They don't even have to take books away anymore. People don't read.
Knowledge is so easy to get now. It's absolutely absurd. If you're not educated, and I don't mean by going to school, because that's not the only way to get education.
Absolutely.
Let's be honest. But like learning how to start your own business, self-development. All these David Goggins, Jocko Willink, those people are out here for free. You can listen to their podcast on Spotify for free, just like this podcast is for free. We're not charging people a fucking dime for all this knowledge. People are talking through experience. People aren't just coming out of nowhere, talking out of their asses about what they think, about their feelings. They're talking about shit that they've been through and like how things affected them negatively or positively. So you really gotta like dig into that and like this comes back to discipline. Like you gotta discipline yourself to like pick through good and bad. You know?
That's the bottom line. As a young man, if you want to be great, discipline.
Discipline.
If you master your mind, and you can master anything in the world.
Fuck your feelings.
That's right. Fuck your feelings.
Because think about it, the main, what's going on in the world right now, right? All the main issues we have right now, let me not call them issues for the sake of not hurting other people's feelings, because feelings are people's gods now. Like they worship feelings. Like, oh, I feel this way, so I have to do this. Oh, I feel that way, so I gotta do that. Like, bro, you don't have to do what you're feeling. You don't have to. That's one of the biggest lies that you tell yourself. Bro, motherfucker, you don't feel like getting out your bed and going to gym at 5 a.m. in the morning, but you've been doing it for a whole fucking month. Get your fucking ass up and continue your routine. Why are you still in bed? Get out and continue. You don't feel like doing it? Oh, cool. Bill Gates did it. Oh, fuck Bill Gates.
Yeah, but no, dude, you're absolutely right, dude. It's just like, as a man, you have to do stuff that you don't want to do.
Bro.
Dude, do I want to be at work 90% of the time? No. Absolutely not. Do I do it because I have bills, because I have people relying on me? That's why I'm there.
I'm not... Like think about like something about me. Think about my own father. He came to this country. My grandfather came to this country and moved everyone in through hard work, through military experience. He brought everyone by hard work. He worked his ass off every single second as an old man. He still did it. You think he fucking felt like coming to America and doing all that shit? No, but he knew that it was a survival thing he must do. If he can't do it, his family will not survive.
And at that age,
he got up every single fucking day and put that work, and he put his 110% in every single day. My dad came. We moved to New York City. He was doing taxi service from the day we got here for years to come, and he was making absolute minimum wage. Like if you're from New York, you know how they treat taxi drivers there. Absolutely shitty. Now we moved out here. My dad has his businesses and stuff. He runs stuff. But guess what? He didn't feel like working. He felt like coming at home. Bro, I seen him sometimes, bro. I would barely see my dad at the beginning when he first came here. Like, because obviously they came here before I was born. But even then, when I was born, for my first couple of years of being alive, like, I would see him, like, very few hours. And they'd be, like, odd hours at night. He'd come just to eat and pray. And that's it. Eat and pray. He'd give my mom a little kiss and go out and continue his working day. 24 hours. These men, you think he felt like doing that? No, but he had to. He understood as a man, if I don't do this, I can't provide for my family. And people have lost that value, I feel like. People have lost that, like, instinctive survival value, right?
Well, no, they did what a man had to do, man. The same thing. When I was little, I didn't see my dad until I was about 8, when he opened his own business, and then he had more free time to spend with us. But the first 8 years of my life, the dude worked 100 hours a week, and did it suck? Yeah, but did he do what a man had to do and took care of his family? Absolutely. And the issue now is everything's 50-50. Oh, don't worry, we'll split the bill 50-50. That's not what a man does, dude. As a man, you have to have money. If you like a girl, you pay the bill. You like a girl, you marry her. The bills are... Yeah, and bottom line, as a man, literally you bear all responsibility, and don't let women tell you it's 50-50 this, it's 50-50 that. You're literally dating a man at that point. Like, as a man, you should want to be in control of the finances. You should want to dictate where you're going to eat. And women like that. Instead of saying, oh, I don't know, what do you want to do? When you say, hey, I'm going to pick you up at 7 o'clock. I have a restaurant picked out. I have an activity for us to do after. They like that. It shows initiative. It shows that you can take charge. You can lead. Don't let women tell you that men are supposed to be feminized. They're supposed to be weak. They sit on there online and they say all this. And they're looking at the guys who have muscles. They're looking at the guys who are telling them, hey, we're eating here. Hey, I'm picking you up at this time. Like, and that's literally what it is. Like, don't let them they say one thing and they want the other. Be the other. Be the guy who embraces the ugly. Go ahead.
And it's like, if what he's saying, you can't find what he's saying true, it's probably because you're with the wrong women. You're probably out here with girls who are thotting and shit. you need to find yourself like actual women, because actual women look for actual men, and we're at an age where like being somebody's girlfriend, being somebody's boyfriend isn't something people use to find a life partner anymore. It's more so something they use because they're bored and the time they feel lonely, and it's like a lot of underlying issues that they don't want to solve. They don't want to treat head on because all their life they've been told it's okay, you know, it's okay to feel like that. Next thing you know, you're depressed and they put you on antidepressants, but that's a whole different story. So yeah, so
Focus on yourself, build yourself up, convert to Islam, find a pure wife. That's the only way you're gonna find a pure wife at this point in time.
Yeah.
And when you convert to Islam and you want a wife, get one from the East, right? The Middle East, South
even
Asia,
that.
somewhere that's not America.
even that though, like I was talking to my grandma's one time, and I told you about that earlier. But like my grandma, she was like, even these girls out there be like low key like wilding, like they'll be the man in a relationship. They'll still go out and talk to dudes like back. I'm talking about girls back home.
Back home.
So
yeah.
like in reality, bro, to find a right girl, bro, you just gotta wait. You know, there's something there for you. Your fate is written. You just gotta wait for it, man. And that's that. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, stay down until you come up.
Right.
100%. Yeah.
Anything
Can't
from you?
agree.
Anything from you?
No.
Go to the gym.
Can't disagree with that. Yeah.
Lift iron.
Right.
Eat healthy. Pray to God.
And one thing I know it's too early to mention this, but one thing that we'll discuss about in the next podcast is fasting. Voluntarily fasting. You could do this any time of the week. I'll bring I'll fact check actually and bring it where it's like based on science and whatnot. Also it have spiritual benefits along with like biology benefits and whatnot. But there's ways that fasting helps the mind, the soul.
Just like meditating.
Just like meditating.
Boost testosterone too. They don't tell you
Semen
that.
retention. Yep.
No, that's fasting boosts testosterone too.
Yeah.
Right.
Though I'm saying because you're still doing semen.
So,
But
Edit
that's
that
in the
out.
next. That will be in the
Exactly.
next. Yeah, that will be in the next. I'd like to mention this: how I survived high school. It was because I fasted 2 times. Well, 2 days in a week. I'd fast Monday and then I'll fast
better man than
Thursday.
me.
Yeah, I did this throughout my high school career. It was easy to say no to things that were possibly, you could say, were pressuring you at the time. Like peer pressure is true.
It's
Like,
true.
It's real.
It's real.
Like,
I actually like when I was in high school, like I used to lie to myself. I'd be like, I can't be peer pressured. I can't be like brought anyway. But you still found me to throw parties and bring hang out and do all that stuff. Like it's real, bro.
it's real. And you can't.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's real, and you can escape it, but you have to be true of yourself.
Right.
It's lots of discipline required. I did Mondays and Thursday. At the time, I just did it because it was coordinating with my faith, and I ran with that. Once I started doing that, shout out to my man Samir Magual. I'll tag him hopefully. He's the one that got me on the Nawafil fasting. That's voluntarily fasting. He's the one that got me on that type of time, and I'd still try to shoot him some. Try to give him some shout outs here and there in life and whatnot, like how much he helped me with this, because fasting itself saved me throughout my high school career. Like, I see people struggling and whatnot, people are being called dumb because they couldn't memorize something on exam. And then I'll go home with being just, still being in that fasting mindset that, what was it, still recording?
You're good.
So I'll go home, let me just stop that part, but anyways, fasting is key, fasting saves you, fasting is the way.
Right.
If you can fast. It's don't force yourself into it. You gradually build your way. If you can't fast intentionally now, because you can survive without eating food, being asleep, and you can do that being awake. So it's not my body can't fast. No, you can fast, and it's not just fasting from. You have to fast with your desire. So you fasting. One of these fasting means cutting out. You isolating yourself from your desires, such as eating, any type of consumption, and also your desires such as your
Cleaning.
consumption. Yeah, we can get
Get into it more. Yeah.
get into it more.
So to end this episode off, I want to ask you both a question. If you look back in your years of life, if you could just think about the time you were the most saddest or the most angriest in your periods of life,
yeah.
can you guys tell me what's one thing you guys would tell yourself to that? knowing that with all the experience you have right now?
It gets better. Life gets better. What you're feeling now is temporary. Any pain you have is temporary, and there's a purpose for it. And the minute you find your purpose for pain and you can channel it into something positive, the world is yours.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You guys?
100%, yeah. So before the podcast, we were speaking about our body transformation and whatnot, and I actually did find a photo and a video of me of where I used to be in my stature. Oh man, I was skinny. I was really skinny, and before that I was chubby. So I went through those phases. So I can relate to some of you, even though it may not look like that at the moment. Got a baggy hoodie on and whatnot. Just came off from shift. There was some electrical, had a service call, but seen a photo of me that was really skinny, and I was just looking at myself. It was like, before I edited this video, I was like, is there anything I could tell myself at this phase where I wanted to be? Because I was always an athlete. So I wanted to see. I was always an athlete. I participated in any sport I can get my hands on or feet on, whatever I could partake in, and I believed I can make it to where I want to be in sports. So that was the goal. That never worked out. So I channeled that and decided to invest that energy into somewhere else. But going back to what could I tell myself, that skinny person that was once me in the past, really skinny, I'm talking. Really skinny. It's that, like Pat said, it's going to only get better. Don't rush it. You're not going to see results from just where you are at that point. Because you started now, don't mean that you'll receive your results within this week itself or that following month or year. It took me years to get to where I am. And that's me doing the bare minimum. And now that I'm at this phase in life, I know the more work I put in, obviously, the I guess the quicker to where I will be as to my objectives. Knock it off and whatnot.
Yeah. So I mean, like with that, man, and just leave you guys off with this. Stay down, man. Just do what you do. Put the work in. Cause let's be real for a second. You know what you need to do. I don't believe for a second that you're dumb to think that you don't know what you need to do to get to where you need to get. All the knowledge is free. Like me, I'm talking to myself first and foremost. That's why I started this podcast, to kind of like put things out there so that I can look back and be like, damn, I already said that, and if I don't do it, it makes me a hypocrite. To make sure that I stay true to myself, because in reality, I don't give a fuck about what you're doing in your life, just like they don't give a fuck about what I'm doing in my life. It's basically what you're doing and where you're going to get. No one cares about you until you're somebody important, so make yourself somebody important. Stay down till you can't come up, just like Pat said. With that, this is the end of our first episode, guys. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.